As you probably realize, I'm not another pretty face in Brazilian television. Easy. And the truth is that I think I'm here because I'm not a typical TV personality. In my homeland, I host a weekly TV show watched by around 18 million people every Saturday, all around Brazil and also in 150 countries all over the world. I have 21 million followers on my social networks. And I also was the first Brazilian to reach 1 million people, 1 million followers on Twitter. I began my career when I was 21, which was a small daily newspaper column that turned into a radio show, which became a weekly TV show in a small TV station. 3 years after that, I was hired by the largest Brazilian television network called TV Globo, and I'm there since then hosting the same show for the last 14 years. I think the reason I have been successful is that I truly love what I do. I consider that it is my life mission. I have the honor of inspiring Brazilians with the best part of my country, our people. One might say that just famous people can inspire. I have learned that it's often those who seem to have the least who can really offer us the most. And I love to listen to people, and I love to turn it into TV content in Brazil. Each year, I receive more than 1 million stories for all over Brazil, classic letters, people sit down and write, and also emails, lots of them. And recently I just received an email from a police lieutenant, Sheila, from Pará de Minas. Sheila? That's Sheila. From Pará de Minas, a small town in the interior of Brazil. Lieutenant Sheila wrote me telling me the story about Herberta, a cleaning lady who recently been hired at her police station to clean the bathroom and all the stuff. Sheila soon noticed two things about Herberta. First, she was a top-notch, efficient cleaner. Second, at meals time, she didn't eat anything, and she just set her food aside to take home every day. Looking deeper into this, Lieutenant discovered that Herberta, at 33, I said 33 years old, she had 7 children between 18 months and 15 years old, and she had 3 ex-husbands. The first was murdered, the second ran with another woman, and the third was hooked on crack and arrested by drug trafficking. Her oldest daughter, that you can see on the left, Raissa, is the one who takes care of all the brothers and sisters. Sheila discovered also that Herberta wake up every morning at 5:30 a.m., drop the kids at school, this is the house, drop the kids at school, go to the police station, work there until 4 p.m., go back home, arrive home at 5 p.m. At 6:30, she left for her second job as a cook in a popular restaurant. She arrived home at 2 a.m. and the next day, she repeated the same routine Monday through Saturday. This is the house, her room. She sleeps with 5 kids over there, and this is the side of the house. For this, Herberta earned $500 each month, every month, and this is the total income of the family. Despite having only 1 hour and a half each day to be with her kids, she knew everything that went in her home house. She has the love and respect for her kids. The kids are crazy about the mother. And Herberta did all of this with a big smile on her face. I asked Herberta how long her monthly wages lasted. She said it didn't last more than 10 days every month. So she spent 20 days not knowing where the money will come from to put food on the table. She told me that every month, when she received her wages, she chose one of her children to provide some culture. And do you know what she means about culture? Taking one of the 7 kids each month to a restaurant to eat with fork and knife. This is culture. This can sound a sad story, depends on the point of view, but I must tell you, Herberta is one of the most inspiring women I ever met in my life, and also one of the most happy also. And she could transform. I spent 2 hours in her house in the first time I met her, and she transformed all my big problems into dust in 2 hours. I listened to Herberta's story with as much interest and respect I would listen for a chief of state or if anyone was in this stage today here. It was a great day. I think my talent in life is to walk in this fine line between chaos and inspiration. And just for the records, this is good. This is Herberta's home today, please. Yes. Do you remember the old house? Then the new house again. Thank you. I like this. We put some people, it's not the extreme makeover, just put some cool people together, designers, architects, to leave a legacy in Herberta's life. The program was a hit, was broadcasted already, but the house and the benefits will last forever in her life. Brazil is changing, and I'm a witness to this. In the streets, in homes, and in families, we had no Arab Spring in Brazil. Sorry. But we are seeing now a digital spring in Brazil. Through social networking, even without broadband and with a dramatic digital divide, Brazil is a world power when it comes to social networking. We are a networked country. Brazilians are reaching out to each other in new ways. They are becoming active in each other's lives and in their country development. They are taking on the streets, demanding quality public, this was a few months ago, 2 months, 3 months ago, demanding quality public service and transparency. I think that social awareness is growing via the internet. Brazil's great asset is the people. And is this the capital that I truly believe in? For me, producing content based in real life stories, making heroes of underdogs, social networking is a powerful tool to discover these stories. 2 years ago, Rio de Janeiro was in the middle of the worst war it had ever seen between good and evil. In one side, the police, and the other side, drug dealers, here and there. Rio de Janeiro was a city divided. The population, the police, and the good part of the essential service could not enter much of the city. The people of the city had lost the freedom to come and go. They cannot go wherever they want in the city. It was crazy. And I'm not talking about the city peripheries far away from the city center. Some of the real slums, it's less than 500 yards from the most expensive city blocks of the city. With the upcoming of World Cup and the Olympics, the public powers begin a pacification process of the territories occupied by the drug dealers. By pacification, I mean reclaiming these areas and returning the basic rights to the citizens. The greatest challenge was so-called Complexo do Alemão. In English, it's maybe the German complex or the German field. And the German was the owner of the farm that became this. An area over half of a square mile in size, covering 15 slums, and where more than 100,000 people live. People who had to live with guns and drug dealers around every day. On November 28, 2010, the police, with the help of the Marines, invaded the Complexo do Alemão. It was the worst urban battle in the city history. I was out of the country vacation with my family and began to following the facts via internet. And the situation inside the slum was so violent that the press were unable to enter the community to cover what happened inside the community, inside the favelas. Far from home and anxious for information, I went to my social networks and I found among my Twitter followers a 17-year-old boy, the son of a housekeeper and a street sweeper, who lived inside the favela, inside the Complexo do Alemão, and he was at his grandmother's house in the middle of the favela, inside, tweeting all the details of the battle and the occupation. At that moment, he has around 5 followers. This was René Silva. He ran a community newspaper called The Voice of the Community, which he founded was founded in 2005 when he was 11 years old. I retweet René's message on what was happening inside the slum, and very quickly, a 17-year-old boy was reporting to the great Brazilian media one of the most dramatic stories in Brazilian life. The boy became an instant celebrity. I cut short my vacations. I returned to Brazil. When I got back home, got to the city, the police had already taken control of the situation, and they allowed me to go inside the slum. I went to meet René. He told me his history. I got to his family, his house, his grandmother, and I decided to build for René and his co-workers a proper newspaper office inside the slum. And here it is. Outside is ugly, but inside it was pretty, like this. René, Herberta, and the digital spring that we are seeing in Brazil are the proof of this. Simple stories that are driven by social networking and empowered through TV can inspire a whole country. Regardless of this, I highly recommend all of you to see and get to know Brazil personally, and if you can, take your families. It's a unique country with a very special people, culture, and places. I've been traveling all over the world with my wife and 3 kids, and there may be people just as nice around the world, but there's no place better. And if you like, you can stay at my place, okay? Thank you.